Dennis Silverman and Megan Danvers woke up almost simultaneously. As the rest of Portland, Oregon was getting ready for dinner or making the commute home, Dennis and Megan rolled out of their beds. They had never met and would never meet. They were just two people waking up in Portland, Oregon on a sunny and glorious late afternoon Monday in March. Dennis in the spendy, gentrified Pearl District, third floor of a confectionery factory, turned into $500,000 condos. Megan in the Residence Inn at Portland International Airport. Dennis had been so keyed up, he'd slept barely 3 hours. He started his day by scanning a half-dozen blogs on his homemade laptop while he downed 2 Red Bulls and 2 Snickers, his traditional breakfast. MTV played in the background, but he hardly noticed. He was so nervous, his hands shook. And every time he caught a glimpse of himself in the mirror, he grinned. This was going to be a day. A hell of a day. A day people would remember. A day the media whores would recount on its anniversary, and people would ask, "Where were you when you heard?" Megan awoke to the sound of a travel alarm. She drank bottled water she'd set out the night before, then went to work on 100 crunches, 100 push-ups, with her bare feet up on one of the hotel room chairs. CNN played in the background, but she hardly noticed. She showered, called her husband James in Reston, Virginia. They talked for exactly 2 minutes about nothing in particular. The baby was fine. The weather was crappy in Virginia. March 7th, and there was black ice everywhere. Megan pushed aside the hotel room curtains and squinted into the lovely evening, the sun peeking over the West Hills, illuminating the radiant Mount Hood to the east, topped year-round in snow. They said, "I love you," and hung up. Portland International Airport. 90 minutes later, Megan Danvers found herself standing in the shadow of her very own jet airliner. It wasn't hers, but she was the pilot and the senior officer, so as far as she was concerned, the mammoth Vermeer 111 was all hers. She breathed in the slightly salty tang of the Columbia River, just a little to the north, and studied the wispy hints of clouds that dotted the sky. 1 octa, she said to herself. Only 1/8 of the way toward being overcast. "It's a looker," Russ Kazmansky noted the boss's attention on the sky. "Sweet," Megan said. She wore the Navy Eisenhower jacket and matching trousers of Cascade Air. Tall and willow-thin, the uniform hung nicely on her athletic frame. Russ wore the same, although he was short and paunchy, and she doubted that he had ever ironed his trousers. "Almost no wind up top," she said. "Day like this must be what it's like flying in outer space." Russ squinted up at her, smiling. He knelt in the shadow of the landing gear of the colossal 111, about the size of a Boeing 737. Above their heads, the retractable gangplank of Terminal C4 began inching out, touching the skin of their 4-engine widebody. "You a NASA wannabe, Skip?" "Damn straight." Megan canted her head, running her hand through her hair, which she wore tightly cropped. She was African-American. Russ was white. It dawned on her that less than 1 generation ago, no white pilot, especially one 11 years her elder, would have called a black woman Skip. Stewardess, maybe. He grinned. "No kidding." "I almost made the program 8 or 9 years ago. I never told you that." "Nope." The laptop at Russ's knee chimed. It sat on the cool, gritty tarmac, its infrared emitter aimed at a portal in the underbelly of the jet, 10 feet directly over his head. The emitter, shaped like a penlight and shining in the invisible range, was attached to the laptop by a gooseneck flex tube. The underbelly portal was marked Gamelan. "They screwed up not taking you. You'd been a hit with the Flash Gordon set." She smiled at the kneeling man. "Why, Kazmansky, that's the sweetest thing anyone's ever said to me." Russ made a fist and blew into it. It had hit 52 today, But with the sun going down, the temperature was getting ready to fall like a Warner Brothers anvil. Russ Kazmansky had been the co-pilot with Megan Danvers for a week now, running a three-legged pattern from PDX to LAX to SeaTac and back again.